Hey, this is Sam Black, and today I'm going to experiment with some tweaks on the mono white Sun Titan control deck in Modern that's been floating around. So I looked up a few lists that were all pretty similar. I don't actually know their original origin, but they have a lot of this stuff with a few more blue cards, more counter spells, and usually gifts ungiven. And an extra mortar pod and some other stuff. The stuff that I've added that they usually don't have is Mistveil Plains, Nykthos, Prairie Stream, Night of the White Orchid, and Field Mist Border Post, Ulamog, and Sphinx's Revelation. So what I'm going for here is basically just getting Night of the White Orchid in the deck to try to Sun Titan faster. With Field Mist Border Post and Path to Exile and Ghost Quarter, it's very easy to set up spots, even going into the late game, where you're hitting lands off Night of the White Orchid. And then once Night of the White Orchid and Field Mist Border Post are in the deck, you actually end up having a lot of white devotion symbols and white permanents. And so I wanted to try Mistveil Plains and Nykthos. And then once I was hitting more lands and getting Nykthos mana, I wanted to try playing some big spells to see if being able to really take advantage of that was useful. So I had to trim Emeria to make room in the lands for this other stuff. Trimmed some Hallowed Fountains to make room for Prairie Streams, because I think the deck is pretty likely to have basic plains in play, and being able to fetch the untapped land without paying life seems pretty good. So that's what's going on here. Certainly a lot of cards that could go into this deck, various other things that are good with Sun Titan, like Blade Splicer and Phantasmal Image and Flicker Wisp. And perhaps once Oath is out, maybe Eldrazi Displacer, or whatever the name of the Flicker guy is, especially if you're willing to do something like play Mind Stone to get some more colorless mana, which is actually the last thing I kept from this. And also maybe like more Pilgrim's Eyes and a Waste. Sideboard is similarly pretty traditional as for the lists that I saw. I tweaked a couple of cards, but nothing major. I have like an extra Stony Silence, and less of a few things, more of a few things, but all pretty typical. So I haven't really played with this version or the old version, and I know that it's often recommended to try just copying lists straight before innovating on it, but that's not really how I like to do things, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes.